Tonight on the MTN News.
Obviously, they're a lot higher than people are used to seeing.
Water bills have some Billings residents boiling what the city is saying. And back to the beginning.
This fire right now is burning at a little bit over 196,000 acres, so it's a pretty large wildfire.
A trip to Wyoming where the Remington fire began days before becoming Montana's biggest wildfire of the season. Plus,
I look at the sacrifice that man made on behalf of our country, and I figured the least I can do on a Friday was enjoy the sunshine in his memory in my hot rod.
A veteran's last wishes are fulfilled as he's given a classic send-off. The MTN News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening and thanks for ending your week with us. I'm Russ Riesinger. Have you seen your latest water bill from the city of Billings? Some say their bills have tripled and are demanding an explanation. Our Isabel Sparts first told you about a change in billing software a few weeks ago that the city says was to blame for delayed bills and a lot of confusion. Well, tonight she has an update after some residents told us the problems go far beyond what we reported a couple of weeks ago.
Many of us have been watering our lawns and filling up pools this summer to keep cool, but without realizing just how high our recent water bills would be. While the city has been experiencing some billing issues, residents say they don't understand why they're being charged nearly triple what they're used to.
It's been a hot summer, but it isn't the temperatures outside that have some in Billings boiling.
I have city water for my lawn. I haven't watered it excessively, I don't think.
It's their water bills.
I looked at it, expected it to be like double what my normal bill would be because I thought it was just for 2 months. And it was like, normally my bill's around $80 to $90 per month, and it was $286.
Elizabeth Shoemaker is one of many Billings residents experiencing sticker shock. As we first reported 2 weeks ago, concerns first arose earlier this summer when the city switched to a new billing software. That transition didn't go smoothly, leading to delays in sending out utility bills and even combining the July and August periods.
To get us caught up in billing, we sent out these 60-day bills. About 21,000 went out this week, and obviously they're a lot higher than people are used to seeing.
But fast forward several weeks and those problems persist. Some have sent MTN pictures of water bills like this, claiming they're being charged double, even triple their normal rates.
It's just really confusing. I'm still trying to figure out what's on here.
The city has been flooded with calls, but Public Works Director Jennifer DeRay says that so far all of the bills they've reviewed have been correct.
The meter reading system didn't change. The meters didn't change. That's all the same. So there's nothing wrong with that.
However, many have seen their bills rise, which DeRay says is due to several factors, but mainly yearly rate increases and shifting storm drain fees typically assessed elsewhere to utility bills.
Those rate increases for water, wastewater, and wastewater, and solid waste increased the bill about 7.8%. With that storm going on the utility bill, they actually see a 15.5% increase in just rates that were effective July 1st.
While the city is still hoping to help resolve those issues, residents believe it could have been handled better.
I feel like that is a lack of transparency with the Public Works and the city as far as how they are actually handling the billing with their, it's just a huge mess.
In Billings, Isabel Sparts, MTN News.
As the end of summer approaches, many are ready to say so long to fire season. This is a new image tonight of the Remington fire in southeast Montana, showing just how fast that fire was moving. The occupants of this tent escaped safely but lost their belongings. Tonight, Charlie Kleps traveled to where the fire all began before quickly spreading north to become Montana's largest fire of the season so far.
I'm standing in northern Wyoming at the southwest side of the Remington fire, which has burned for about a week now. And as you can see behind me, the damage has been devastating to the landscape.
By this point, we've all seen the pictures and videos.
You can still see some of the grass that wasn't touched.
But walk along the fire lines meant to contain the blaze, and the scene feels almost ghastly.
This fire right now is burning at a little bit over 196,000 acres.
This rural land near Leiter, Wyoming is close to where the fire began, but the blaze took off, the sheer size hard to comprehend, stretching from northern Wyoming into southeastern Montana, a direct result of the wind.
The Remington fire was mostly wind-driven, so it was driven from those winds, pushing it eastward.
Jennifer Bunty with Southwest Incident Management says containing a wind spread fire takes a team effort.
We have people on our team called IMETs. They're incident meteorologists and also fire behavior analysts. Those folks work really closely together to account for things like wind, moisture, relative humidity.
All factors that play a role in the spread of wildfires, which Bunty breaks down into 3 parts.
We call it the fire triangle. You need 3 things for a fire to burn.
Those 3 things, oxygen, fuel, and a heat source, are the focus for anyone fighting fires.
If you have those 3 things, a fire will burn in any situation. And what we do is we try to take one of those elements out.
In the case of the Remington fire, the element teams focused on was the fuel, creating fire lines, essentially blocking the fire from having more fuel to burn.
We put fire in a box, so we make sure that we have lines all the way around it.
Those lines can be made while the blaze is happening using bulldozers and heavy machinery, or may also already exist in the forms of rivers, streams, or roads like this one.
There's still quite a bit of work to be done in terms of containing it.
And while the Remington fire, for the most part, is now finally in check, Bunty says their team is staying focused, knowing how quickly things can change.
Any fire that's lit could grow as long as you have those 3 components.
In northern Wyoming, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Oh, we certainly have a lot of sunshine around Montana and Wyoming right now. The closest real clouds are actually in southern Saskatchewan. There's a little bit of haze and smoke in the air, but overall the air quality is only moderate, could be a lot worse. And today, thus far, we've had a high of 88 degrees in the Magic City, 6 degrees warmer than average after a cooler than average start to the day. We have a little bit of a cool down ahead, more warmth also of your complete Labor Day weekend forecast in the next 7 days coming up in just a few minutes.
Hot rods and classic cars are about to take over downtown Billings tonight, along with hundreds of car enthusiasts. Burn the Point is back for a 20th straight year. That event is steeped in tradition, paying homage to the 1950s and 60s when teens and others would cruise downtown. Every August, that tradition is resurrected as the roar of engines fills the air with hundreds upon hundreds of vintage automobiles parading city streets.
And 20 years later, here we are. And we're celebrating her and all of the folks that have made this a success. Last year, we roughly estimated over 11,000 people lined the streets of Billings for the parade. We had about 3,400 come through the gates for the car show last year. So it just keeps growing and getting bigger and bigger every year.
And if you want to check it out, it's about to get started. Burn the Point begins at 6 p.m. with the parade featuring more than 500 vehicles crossing North 27th Street and cruising down 3rd Avenue North. The event is also the Chase Hawks Memorial Association's second largest fundraiser. Burn the Point isn't the only classic car celebration taking place today. MTN's Marcus Kokova spent the day with the Samick family, celebrating the life of a local veteran and classic car enthusiast who was sent off in style.
This is no ordinary show of 20 classic cars.
We're honoring my husband, who has passed on, for his service and for his love of classic cars.
The least I can do on a Friday was enjoy the sunshine in his memory in my hot rod.
And did you know him at all?
I did not.
Herb Samick spent nearly 4 years of his 79 on Earth in the United States Army as a corporal.
He was happy that he had served his country.
While today there's a cultural honoring of those who serve in the armed forces, during the Vietnam War, Herb, alongside the nearly 9 million other veterans, went underappreciated.
He was spit on when he came home. It didn't matter that they didn't win the war. He'd done his bit, and I was very proud of him for it.
But outside of life in uniform, Herb's heart was taken by 2 things. His wife.
Well, he had a Jeep. In fact, we used to date there. That's where we got engaged.
And his cars.
He'd have been up and down every one of those cars talking to the guy. Oh, I know what year is it. Oh, you put that engine in it. All those wonderful questions that all car guys ask each other. And he would have been in heaven.
While today marks the last ride for Herb, Candace says there's a long and winding road that remains ahead. One she's taking a single step at a time.
Life has been so revolving around him. I'm not sure it's going to be different. I'll just get up in the morning and brush my teeth, go feed the cats, and whatever the day brings.
One step at a time.
Yep. One step at a time.
Marcus Kakova, MTN News.
Ahead on the MTN 530 News here on Q2, bringing people back to downtown Billings. A look at new efforts to drum up business in the heart of the Magic City. And later, a big weekend in the Big Sky Conference. We'll get you ready for both the Cats and the Grizz coming up.